First of all, AIG has been bailed out 4 times since September to the tune of $160 billion. September 16th at $85 billion, October 8th at $37 billion, November 10th at $150 billion, I believe, and then recently, March 2nd, $30 billion is the proposal. Why hasn't Treasury come forward and said who are the affected counterparties, the people that are most affected by the collapse, so that we know why we are doing this?
Senator, thank you for asking this. AIG got itself in the position, because there was no effective oversight, where it took on enormous leverage in a large hedge fund attached to a set of very well-designed, well-performing insurance businesses. This company operates in countries around the world. It's enormously important entity in this context, and its failure, in the judgment of your government, would have caused catastrophic damage to the savings of Americans, to interest rates, to pension values, and you would have seen, I share this judgment, you would have seen much greater damage than even we saw with the failure of Lehman. Now, the world...
if you could just clarify more on that, because you're saying basically it would have been bad for America. What I want to know is who would it have been bad for that would have caused the problems for common Americans and their savings?
The biggest effects would have been not on the direct counterparties to the affiliate of AIG that sold a bunch of credit protection. The biggest effects and the most troubling effects, like what you saw in Lehman, but I think they would have been bigger in this case, would have been on broader confidence in the financial system, in asset values, in interest rates, and in willingness of people to take risk in exposure to financial institutions. That's what would have caused much more damage. That's harder to quantify, harder to understand. But in the AIG case, it's very important because millions of Americans here and around the world depend on AIG for insurance policies in a range of different types of savings products. So the judgment your government made in that context was, and I think it was the right judgment, that the effect on confidence would have been very dramatic, I think more dramatic than even in the case of the failure of a major investment bank.
Well, Mr. Secretary Geithner, with all due respect, I think that is the question of the day, confidence in the plan. And the plan is slowly dripping out, and people don't understand where it's going. They don't understand the AIG bailouts and where and who it was benefiting. They don't know what specific industries and companies that we were helping to preserve those opportunities for Americans, and they don't understand the plan overall.
Senator, just again on AIG, because it's very important in AIG. The world has gotten dramatically worse since September of 2008. You're seeing that across the financial system, across life insurance companies generally. The world is more fragile today even than it was then. And therefore, the consequences of allowing a disorderly failure of AIG would be at least as damaging today as it was then. And it is our judgment that the best way to protect the American economy from that risk is to stabilize this institution and let it be in a position where it can pursue a restructuring over time that leaves us and the taxpayer better overall. That's why we're doing this. It's because of those broader benefits, and we believe this is the least cost way to protect the economy from that. I wish it were not so. It would be much better for us and for you if we had another alternative to this path that would contain the damage to the economy as a whole, but that alternative does not exist.
I'm not sure that we're getting to the point that I wanted to get to, so I think what I'll do is I'll skip to something else, and then maybe you and I can have a longer conversation about that. But I do think that people really do want to understand the specifics behind that particular bailout and more details about the plan.